Penguin Random House Audio presents The Book You Wish Your Parents Had Read, and Your Children Will Be Glad That You Did. Written and read by Philippa Perry.
Forward. This is not a straightforward parenting book. I'm not going to go into details about potty training or weaning. This book is about how we have relationships with our children, what gets in the way of a good connection, and what can enhance it. It's about how we were brought up and how that has a bearing on how we parent, about the mistakes we'll make, especially those we never wanted to make, and what to do about them. You will not find many tips, tricks, or parenting hacks in this book, and at times it may upset you, make you angry, or even make you a better parent. I wrote the book I wish I had read as a new parent, and I really wish my parents had read it. Introduction. Recently, I watched a stand-up routine by the comedian Michael McIntyre, in which he said there are 4 things we need to do with our children. Get them dressed, feed them, wash them, and put them to bed. He said before he had his children, he had a fantasy that being a parent would be all running through meadows and eating picnics. But the reality was that each day was an ongoing battle getting them to do just these 4 basic things. There was much laughter from the audience as he described persuading them to have their hair washed, to put on a coat, to go outside, or to eat a vegetable. It was the laughter of parents, maybe parents like us, who'd been there too. Being a parent can be hard work. It can be boring, dispiriting, frustrating, and taxing, while at the same time being the funniest, most joyful, most love-filled, brilliant thing you'll ever experience. When you're bogged down in the minutiae of nappies, childhood illnesses, tantrums, toddler and teenage, or when you're doing a full day's work and coming home to your real work, which includes scraping banana out of cracks in the high chair, or another letter from the head teacher summoning you to the school, it can be hard to put being a parent in perspective. This book is about giving you that big picture, to help you pull back, to see what matters and what doesn't, and what you can do to help your child be the person they can be. The core of parenting is the relationship you have with your child. If people were plants, the relationship would be the soil. The relationship supports, nurtures, allows growth, or inhibits it. Without a relationship they can lean on, a child's sense of their security is compromised. You want the relationship to be a source of strength for your child, and one day for their children too. As a psychotherapist, I've had the experience of listening and talking to people who struggle with different aspects of parenting. Through my work, I've had the opportunity to look at how relationships become dysfunctional and what makes them work well again. The objective of this book is to share with you what is relevant when it comes to parenting. This will include how to work with feelings, yours and theirs, how to attune yourself to your children so that you can learn to understand them better, and how to have a real connection with them rather than getting stuck in exhausting patterns of conflict or withdrawal. I take the long-term view on parenting rather than a tips and tricks approach. I'm interested in how we can relate to our children rather than how we can manipulate them. In this book, I encourage you to look at your own babyhood and childhood experiences so that you can pass on the good that was done to you by your own upbringing and hold back on the less helpful aspects of it. I'll be looking at how we can make all our relationships better and good for our children to grow up among. I'll cover how our attitudes in pregnancy can have a bearing on our future bond with our child, and how to be with a baby, a child, an adolescent or an adult child so that you can have a relationship with them that is a source of strength to them and satisfaction to you. And, along the way, have far fewer battles about getting them dressed, fed, washed and put to bed. This book is for parents who not only love their children, but want to like them too. Part 1. Your Parenting Legacy. The cliché is true. Children do not do what we say, they do what we do. Before we even consider the behaviour of our children, it's useful, essential even, to look at their first role models, and one of them is you. This section is all about you, because you will be a major influence on your child. In it, I'll give examples of how the past can affect the present when it comes to your relationship with your child. I will talk about how a child can often trigger old feelings in us that we then mistakenly act on in our dealings with them. I'll also be looking at the importance of examining our own inner critic, so we do not pass too much of its damaging effects onto the next generation. The past comes back to bite us and our children. A child needs warmth and acceptance, physical touch, your physical presence, love plus boundaries, understanding, play with people of all ages, soothing experiences, and a lot of your attention and your time. Oh, so that's simple then. The book can end here, except it can't, because things get in the way. Your life can get in the way. Circumstances, childcare, money, school, work, lack of time, busyness. And this is not an exhaustive list, as you know. But what can get in the way more than any of this, however, is what was given to us when we ourselves were babies and children. If we don't look at how we were brought up and the legacy of that, it can come back to bite us. You might have found yourself saying something along the lines of, "I opened my mouth and my mother's words came out." Of course, if theirs were words that made you feel wanted, loved and safe as a child, that would be fine. But so often they are words that did the opposite. What can get in the way are things like our own lack of confidence, our pessimism, our defences, which block our feelings, and our fear of being overwhelmed by feelings. Or, when it comes specifically to relating to our children, it could be what irritates us about them, our expectations for them or our fears for them. We are but a link in a chain, stretching back through millennia and forward until who knows when. The good news is you can learn to reshape your link, and this will improve the life of your children and their children, and you can start now. You don't have to do everything that was done to you. You can ditch the things that were unhelpful. If you are a parent or you're going to be one, you can unpack and become familiar with your childhood. Examine what happened to you, how you felt about it then, how you feel about it now, and, after having done that unpacking and taken a good look at it, put back only what you need. If, when you were growing up, you were, for the most part, respected as a unique and valuable individual, shown unconditional love, given enough positive attention, and had a rewarding relationship with your family members, you will have received a blueprint to create positive, functional relationships. In turn, this would have shown you that you could positively contribute to your family and to your community. If all this is true of you, then the exercise of examining your childhood is unlikely to be too painful. If you did not have a childhood like this, and that's the case for a large proportion of us, looking back on it may bring up emotional discomfort. I think it is necessary to become more self-aware around that discomfort so that we can become more mindful of ways to stop us passing it on. So much of what we have inherited sits just outside of our awareness. That makes it hard sometimes to know.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?